you're closer to manifesting everything you've ever wanted than you've ever been before. And I'm not talking about some distant future possibility. I'm talking about something that's literally one step away from materializing in your physical reality. But here's what most people don't realize. That final step isn't what you think it is. In fact, it's the complete opposite of everything you've been taught about manifestation. What I'm about to reveal will explain why your biggest breakthrough always seems to happen right after you've given up trying. Why the moment you stop forcing and start flowing, reality begins to reorganize itself around your desires. And most importantly, why that feeling of being almost there that you've been experiencing lately isn't frustration. It's actually the universe's way of telling you that you're standing at the threshold of something extraordinary. Something's happening in your energy field right now that quantum physicists call the observer effect. Every single time you've visualized your dream life, every moment you've felt that deep knowing that something bigger is coming, you've actually been collapsing infinite possibilities into one singular timeline. That timeline is about to crash into your current reality in a way that'll leave you absolutely speechless. Look, you being here watching this isn't some random coincidence. Your consciousness has hit what researchers call the coherence threshold. This is the exact moment when your internal frequency becomes powerful enough to override external circumstances. Most people spend years waiting for their outside world to change before they believe in their manifestations. But what I'm going to show you flips that script entirely. Think about this for a moment. Every night when you fall asleep, your consciousness slips into a state where time, space, and physical laws become fluid. In that realm, you're already living your dream life. You're already wealthy, already in perfect health, already surrounded by love. These aren't just dreams. They're parallel realities that exist simultaneously with this one. The only difference is which one you're choosing to focus your awareness on when you're awake. Here's the thing, though. Recent studies in quantum biology have discovered something absolutely mind-blowing. Our DNA actually responds to our emotional states by changing its molecular structure. When you feel abundant, your cells literally reorganize themselves to support abundance. When you feel loved, your nervous system rewires itself to attract more love. This isn't some new age metaphysics. This is hard science happening inside your body as we speak. But here's where it gets weird. And most manifestation teachers never talk about this because they honestly don't get the quantum mechanics behind it. Right before your biggest breakthrough, you'll always experience what appears to be the exact opposite of what you want. If you're manifesting money, you might suddenly face unexpected expenses. If you're calling in love, you might go through a period of feeling more alone than ever. And honestly, the first time someone told me this, I thought they were completely nuts, like they were just trying to make me feel better about my epic failures. But then something clicked that changed my entire understanding of reality. See, this isn't the universe testing you or trying to block your manifestation. What's actually happening is way cooler than that. This is actually the old reality making one final attempt to maintain its structure before it collapses into your new timeline. Quantum physicists call this resistance to change system inertia. Just like a rubber band stretched to its maximum point must either snap forward or break, your reality is at that exact same tension point right now. What makes this moment so powerful is that you've unconsciously been building what scientists call quantum entanglement with your desires. Every visualization session, every moment of gratitude, every time you've acted as if your dreams were already real, you've been creating invisible threads that connect your consciousness to your manifestation. These threads have been growing stronger, pulling your desired reality closer to your current experience, until now they're about to merge completely. Now here's where this gets absolutely fascinating. This merging process doesn't happen slowly over time like you might expect. Instead, it happens in what physicists call quantum leaps. These sudden, instantaneous jumps from one state to another. One day you're struggling, and the next day opportunities are flowing to you effortlessly. One moment you feel disconnected from love, and suddenly you're surrounded by people who see and appreciate your true value. The key to triggering this quantum leap lies in understanding something that sounds completely counterintuitive. The harder you try to make something happen, the more you're actually pushing it away. This is because effort comes from lack, from the assumption that you don't have what you desire. But when you can embody the energy of already having your desire, when you can feel grateful for it before it appears, when you can act from abundance before you see it in your bank account, you create what quantum mechanics calls constructive interference. Imagine two waves in the ocean. When they meet, they can either cancel each other out or amplify each other exponentially. Your consciousness and your desires are like those waves. When you try to force manifestation through effort and struggle, you create destructive interference where your energy cancels out the very thing you're trying to attract. But when you align your internal state with the frequency of your desires, both waves amplify each other into something far more powerful than either could create alone. Alright, so here's where most people completely mess this up. They try to manifest from their current identity, then sit around wondering why absolutely nothing changes. They visualize wealth while still feeling like someone who struggles with money. They affirm love while still carrying the emotional patterns of someone who feels unworthy of it. This creates what quantum physicists call decoherence, where your signal becomes scattered and confused. True manifestation mastery happens when you learn to embody the identity of the person who already has what you want, not as a future goal, but as a present moment choice. When you walk like someone who knows the universe supports them, when you make decisions like someone who trusts that everything always works out in their favor, when you respond to challenges like someone who knows they're divinely protected, you create the identity coherence that makes manifestation inevitable. Now here's where most people hit me with the question, but how the heck am I supposed to embody something I don't actually have yet? And look, I used to think this was a totally valid question until I discovered something that completely blew my mind and shattered everything I thought I knew about reality. You're not trying to become someone brand new. You're actually just remembering who you already are. The version of you that's living your dream life isn't some future possibility you need to work toward. According to quantum mechanics, that version already exists in what physicists call the field of infinite potential. Every possible version of your life, the abundant version, the healthy version, the loved version, exists simultaneously in quantum superposition. The only question is which version you're going to choose to collapse into your experienced reality. This choosing happens through what consciousness researchers call identity coherence. Here's something specific you can apply immediately. Instead of visualizing what you want, begin visualizing yourself as someone who naturally receives what they desire. See yourself moving through life with the quiet confidence of someone who knows the universe supports them. Feel the energy of being someone for whom manifestation flows effortlessly. Not because you're special, but because you're aligned. This identity shift is the secret that separates the top 1% from everyone else. Most people identify as someone who is trying to manifest. You're being invited to identify as someone who naturally attracts their desires because they've learned to match the frequency of receiving. Creation implies separation, that you're here and your desire is somewhere else. Recognition implies unity, that you and your desire are already one. You're just remembering how to experience that oneness. When you approach manifestation from this place of remembering rather than creating, you tap into what mystics call the eternal now, where everything you've ever wanted already exists in perfect form. Your desires aren't future possibilities waiting to be born. They're present moment realities waiting to be recognized. The love you're seeking is already loving you. The abundance you want is already flowing toward you. The perfect health you're calling in is already your natural state. You're not trying to get something from the universe. You're allowing the universe to give something to you that it's been trying to deliver all along. This understanding brings us to why surrender becomes so powerful in the final stages of manifestation. You're not giving up on your dreams. You're giving up the illusion that you need to control how they appear. When you release your attachment to the specific form your desires must take, you allow the universe to deliver something far more magnificent than your limited imagination could have conceived. Consider this. You've been trying to paint a masterpiece with a single brush and 3 colors, not realizing that the universe has an entire art studio full of tools and infinite colors waiting to create something spectacular through you. The moment you stop forcing your limited vision and start trusting the cosmic intelligence that spins galaxies and orchestrates the dance of atoms, Synchronicities become your new normal. But here's what's really wild about all this. Manifestation isn't just about getting the stuff you want. It's about becoming who you truly are. Every desire you have is actually your soul's way of calling you toward a fuller expression of your authentic self. The person you become in the process of manifesting your dreams is infinitely more valuable than the dreams themselves. When you understand this, appreciation becomes a manifestation amplifier. Instead of appreciating what you have in order to get more, appreciate what you have as recognition that you live in an abundant universe that's constantly providing for you. This subtle shift in motivation changes the energetic signature of your gratitude from manipulation to genuine acknowledgement. Something profound happens when you absorb these concepts. Your neural pathways begin reorganizing themselves. Neuroscientists have discovered that understanding new concepts about reality actually changes the physical structure of your brain. Each insight that resonates, each moment of recognition you feel while absorbing this information, is creating new neural connections that support your expanded identity. You're not just learning information, you're literally rewiring yourself to become someone who naturally attracts what they desire. Your nervous system is downloading new software that knows how to operate from abundance rather than lack. Software that recognizes synchronicities as normal communication from the quantum field. And here's something that's going to absolutely blow your mind. There's something happening right now in the collective consciousness that's making this entire process easier than it's ever been before. What used to take years of spiritual practice can now happen in moments of pure alignment. The dimensional barriers between parallel realities are becoming thinner, making it possible to step from one timeline to another with increasing ease. You might have noticed this in your own life recently, moments where synchronicities seem almost too perfect to be coincidence, times when you think of someone and they immediately call, instances where exactly what you need appears at exactly the right moment. These aren't random events. They're evidence that your consciousness is beginning to operate from a quantum level where time and space become malleable. Trust in perfect timing becomes your superpower when you understand that every spiritual tradition speaks of divine timing, because it's a fundamental law of how manifestation operates. Your desires aren't late. They're precisely calibrated to appear at the exact moment when you're ready to receive them, without losing yourself in them. The universe loves you enough to give you what you want, only when having it will contribute to your highest evolution, rather than limiting it. What looks like delay from your human perspective is actually divine coordination from the quantum perspective. People are being moved into position, resources are gathering, opportunities are ripening. The entire field of possibility has been reorganizing itself around your highest good, while you've been wondering if anything is actually happening. Now, understanding this timing reveals something absolutely extraordinary about how this whole thing works. The version of you living your desired reality has been sending signals back through time, creating the synchronicities and opportunities that have been appearing in your life. Your future self is literally reaching back through the quantum field to guide your present self toward the timeline where you merge into one coherent identity. Every time you felt that inner pull towards something that didn't make logical sense, every time you've had a gut feeling about a decision, every time you've been guided to be in a certain place at a certain time, you've been receiving navigation signals from your expanded timeline self. And these signals are becoming stronger as the merger approaches. The phenomenon you're experiencing right now, this sense that something is about to shift dramatically, is actually your consciousness beginning to phase lock with your desired timeline. In physics, phase locking occurs when two oscillating systems synchronize their frequencies. Your current reality frequency is beginning to synchronize with the frequency of your desired reality. This synchronization process creates what scientists call a phase transition, a sudden reorganization where a system jumps from one stable state to another. Think of water suddenly becoming ice, or a caterpillar suddenly becoming a butterfly. The transformation appears sudden, but it's actually the result of energy building to a critical threshold where a new configuration becomes inevitable. You are approaching that critical threshold right now. When systems undergo phase transitions, they often display what's called emergence, where new properties appear that weren't present in the original system. These emergent properties can't be predicted from knowing the individual components. They arise spontaneously when complexity reaches a critical point. You are about to experience emergence in your own life. Abilities you didn't know you had will suddenly become available. Opportunities that were invisible before will become obvious. Relationships that align with your highest path will effortlessly materialize. Resources will flow to you through channels you never could have planned or predicted. This isn't because you're getting better at manifesting, it's because you're shifting into a version of reality where what you desire is already the natural order. In this new configuration, abundance doesn't require effort, because abundance is simply how energy flows when there's no resistance to disrupt its natural patterns. Take a moment to feel into this truth. You're not separate from what you desire. You never have been. The seeming gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't distance, it's frequency. And frequency can be changed in an instant through the power of conscious choice. You have that power right now. You've always had that power. The only thing that changes is your willingness to use it. Understanding that you're not just manifesting personal desires becomes crucial here. You're participating in a larger evolutionary process where humanity is learning to co-create consciously with universal intelligence. Your breakthrough becomes a beacon of possibility for everyone around you. The collective consciousness is shifting, and you're part of that shift. Every person who chooses to live from receiving energy rather than wanting energy contributes to the morphic field that makes it easier for others to make the same choice. Your personal transformation isn't just about you. It's about contributing to the collective awakening that's happening on this planet. Every insight that's resonated, every moment of recognition you've felt, every shift in perception that has occurred while absorbing this transmission. These are permanent changes in your neural architecture that will continue to unfold long after this ends. Your brain is literally rewiring itself to support quantum manifestation as your new normal. You're not just understanding new information, you're remembering how reality actually operates at the deepest levels. Your consciousness is downloading ancient wisdom that your soul has always known, but your mind had forgotten during the process of incarnating into physical form. In the comments below, I want you to share one word that captures the energy of who you're choosing to become starting right now. Not who you've been, not who you hope to be, but who you're embodying in this moment. Let this word be your declaration to the quantum field, your signal that you're ready to step into the frequency where manifestation flows as naturally as breathing. Remember, you are already everything you're seeking to become. The only thing left is to allow yourself to remember that truth and live from it with every choice, every breath, every moment of your magnificent existence. You're one step away from manifesting isn't a step you need to take. It's a step you need to recognize you've already taken. The universe has been conspiring in your favor in ways you can't even imagine. Your breakthrough isn't coming, it's here. Welcome to the beginning of everything you've been preparing for.